we look upon those people as not worth saving, as in it was your fault. You brought this upon yourself. You wouldn't have done it if you was my child because I'd have brought you up better. Poor white vulnerable girls being gang raped over decades, over at least 50 years, and governments of any colour have done
But all
nothing
ignored it.
because we don't we look upon those people as not worth saving, as in it was your fault. You brought this upon yourself. You wouldn't have done it if you was my child because I'd have brought you up better. I'm a better parent. We're better than you.
Yeah, but it's treating these children as animals. That's how they look at it. It's like, well, they don't feel it the same as normal people. They're dehumanizing them.
Yeah. George Orwell talked in his book The Road to Wigan Pier, which is a great book if you haven't read it. Great book. It shows the poverty we used to live in when white people had privilege. You know, you look at the poverty.
White privilege. Oh, yes, you had the privilege to starve to death in rags.
Yeah, but he talks about a saying in London at the time, 150 years ago, that there's no point giving Northerners baths in their houses because
Store coal in it.
they'll only put coal in it. That's how, even then, the snobbery of the poor white working class, and that hasn't changed. Elon Musk's involvement in this has blown the lid off it. I can't see this being swept under the carpet again like it has done every time this blows up. We're being discussed now on foreign news channels about in the UK we allow our children to be gang raped.
All over the
This
world.
is all over the world. If this was a foreign country, there'd be British people in Parliament, MPs in Parliament, talking about this, going, we need to impose sanctions on that third world country until they stop raping their children.
Yeah, the hypocrisy is strong. But you know what sickened me, just as an aside there, when they had the vote about a week ago or so, I can't remember how long ago, they had the vote about not having the national inquiry. Obviously, Labour, they all pile into the no lobby. And they all come back, and you see all these Labourers going, we won. They're all sitting there with their smug little grins. They're going, we won. They're sitting there grinning at the fact that they're not going to investigate mass child rape. And you're laughing and grinning about that. Are you absolutely sure that's the right look? I just honestly see Labour now, and all I see are paedophiles because they're either doing it or they're letting it happen. And if they're letting it happen, that's complicit, you know? And they just sicken me now. That's where I am with it.
Well, let's hope Elon's involvement and keeping this on the news cycle, the fact people are demanding inquiries, the fact people are demanding heads. And if you look at the Tory party in reform, they are and should be running with this because there's a good chance one of them or a coalition of them are going to be in power at the next election, in which case we need to be concentrating now on them saying, what are you going to do about this? Because they're the next government. And I want someone to do something about this, even if we have to wait a couple of years for them to get into power.
Nick, I'm gonna make a prediction, and I'm gonna predict that a full investigation or a full inquiry will happen because there's now so many backbench Labours that are calling for it. We've had a few that have come out openly and asked for it, including Andy Burnham. But apparently there are quite a few that are wanting it, but they're not putting their name to it. So on lobby terms, they're talking to the press saying on lobby terms, said no mention, don't mention the war, no names, but I want one. I want one. And I think the pressure will burn. I think it's a slow burn. I think the pressure will come. And I think that Starmer will have to back down and have the full inquiry. I predict he will.